Yeah, what a start for the champions. Michael and I, of course, brought you Premier League Live on Friday night from Anfield, where that atmosphere was incredible. However, Gary, they had a bit of a scare at 2-2, didn't they?
They got a little bit of a fright. It was a very emotional, obviously prior to the game, paying the respects to Jota. It was the respect shown was amazing. But once the game got underway, and Liverpool went 1 and then went 2 up, I was thinking 3 or 4. But Bournemouth didn't go away. And in fact, I thought on turnovers, when Liverpool gave the ball away cheaply, Bournemouth looked dangerous on the counter-attack. Yeah. And they managed to get in behind Liverpool a few times and then got themselves back to 2-2. And at 2-2, if there was a team going to score, I thought it might have been Bournemouth. At the game, it felt like Bournemouth, but then we've just seen Chiesa score a wonderful goal there. I thought his technique to lean away and volley it into the corner of the net, and then they get the fourth. So it's a comfortable win, but it wasn't comfortable when you were sat there watching.
No, not at all. Now, one of the big plus points was the debut goal and all-round performance of Hugo Ekitike, who we were lucky enough to speak to afterwards. But what impressed you most about his debut in the Premier League?
Well, I was quite impressed. I went to Wembley to watch the Community Shield. I was impressed with his performance there. Scored a lovely goal as well.
Yeah, I was there. It was
lovely.
It was good.
Got good shape, good size about him. He's strong. He's quick. He doesn't mind coming short. He doesn't mind going long. He looks like a bit of an all-rounder. We've picked out some of the best bits of him here as well, Steve, and I really liked him. I mean, let's just highlight where he is to start with. And this almost reminded me, Macca, of Firmino. And when you look at him drop in, the space here that he gives to Mo Salah, as it happens, he doesn't run into it here. But look at that. I mean, this is dreamland for Mo Salah.
I enjoy the fact that he likes taking the centre half underneath the ball as well.
Yeah.
So he's getting picked up. He's actually, rubbing in against the centre-back and then going towards the ball and just taking him under the ball, which then, as Michael's saying, it just leaves. Look at the space.
There. As it happens, he runs into his own space. But you watch, if he keeps doing that throughout the season, Steve, I'm sure Mo Salah will be licking his lips. And of course, then he has the vision just to play the ball down to that Gakpo. The attack doesn't come to anything in the end, but that's just a sign that he can come off. Here's another one here, dropping off. Good touch, good turn, aware of what's around him. And I like this as well. I mean, we can slow it down a little bit, but here he is here, and he's not loitering on the edge of the box like some strikers do. He's getting in there. That could have been his header. It could have come off the goalkeeper.
Imagine, Michael, this is very similar to where you were coached as a youngster. Come, join in with play, set, nice, clean touch, set it back to your midfielder, then
get in the box.
Get in the box.
It's for people like you, Macca, to come to the edge of the box.
It's a dream for a midfielder.
Yeah, and if I'm like hanging back, and you're behind me, it's like I'm taking your space. Let me get in the box. You
absolutely.
You've fallen behind, but so there's a little bit of his link-up play again. Here he comes, laying the ball off. I like this little bit as well. Werther here coming in and just taking his place. That little exchange of positions could be good.
The other thing, Michael, I don't know if you agree with me, but I'm not here to have a go at Darwin Núñez, but he was a little bit untidy in his general play.
Absolutely.
Coming off to the ball like that, it would tend to stumble or lose possession. This guy looks a bit of an all-rounder. He's very confident getting in and joining the play at there.
Yeah.
He makes the keeper sit down.
He does. It's a good finish. I mean, he gets a little bit of luck as well with it. But what about this one? Here he is. I love this. I mean, not that I would have done it, but this is him in the box here. Watch when the ball drops. And look at everybody else. Look at him galloping back past everybody.
It's like you, Michael.
It's totally the opposite to me.
That is sensational.
That's unbelievable. And now he doesn't get
a player.
Yeah, he doesn't get a tackle in the end. But if he keeps doing that, he's going to be
the man back there.
Incredible. That was absolutely incredible.
Watching that, it was like wow. Yeah, that's rare. You don't see that often.
Look at that for vision. I mean, he's looking the other way. Just take it back as the ball comes back in. Look at this for vision, and not just vision, but technique. Bang. I mean, that is just absolutely sensational. So he's showing lots of different bits to his game here, Steve, and I do like this as well. Again, we'll pick him up here. If I'm a centre forward, I don't really, in this position, and a wide player's about to get the ball, I don't really want to vacate a position where I can score a goal.
Yeah.
But do you know what?
Surprise.
No, absolutely.
Exactly. But this is really good. This is almost giving yourself to the team. This is a lovely position to take up. A fullback always wants to have that little ball that you can just drop into the feet. And then you get these runs around. Then people can move off you. Now, that intelligence, again, we spoke about Núñez before. He can cause havoc in a defence, but that little bit of intelligence like that, he would never have picked up a position.
But when Liverpool, especially when they're playing at home and they're coming up against teams that have got a real low block with loads of numbers, you need a little bounce pass. And sometimes the centre-forward has to come away from the middle of the goal, just to come and link himself. And to move centre-backs, to take centre-backs out of that, rather than them just being planked right in the middle of the 6-yard box, only 12 yards out. He's got clever little deft movements. He's been really enjoyable to watch, and he is. He's an all-rounder.
I really like him. I think
he's
going to be a big hit at Anfield.
OK, so if you just press that for me there. The name Alexander Isak, of course, will not go away. Still a Newcastle United player as we stand here now, but it's got a couple of weeks to run this saga. So we thought we'd look at this because Arne Slot has publicly said he sees Ekitike as a 9, where he played on his debut and scored on Friday night. And roughly, their league starts before that age, which of course is Ekitike is 23 right now. He's almost 100 games by the age of 23, just 3 goals less in less games than Isak had. You can see the minutes per goal are very similar as in the other stats as well. He's obviously younger in years, but is he heading to the same sort of quality as this guy, do you feel?
Well, I don't know about you, Michael, but Isak is top.
Yeah.
We've been made more aware of Isak in the last 18 months. Obviously, what he's done at Newcastle. Prior to that, associated, we've seen a little bit, obviously aware of Ekitike's, background and his resume. But looking at these numbers, if these are 2 top strikers.
Very similar, aren't they?
Very similar.
These are very similar in terms of numbers. I mean, this is a bit of a discrepancy, but apart from that, and of course, Ekitike has been playing in a different league, and he's, Isak's probably been having it a little bit tougher, let's say. But that's a.
But we're just talking about those little bits of build-up and coming to play in the opponent's box against low blocks. Look at the touches the pair of them have got inside the box. They're doing all their work in there, aren't they?
So, if Ekitike is a 9, and if he's so promising, going to be that good, do they need Alexander Isak?
Well, maybe less so than they thought ago, let's say. Maybe less
Possibly.
so. But when you think the tragic circumstances with Diogo Jota, and then they've chosen to let Núñez go and Diaz go, there's 3 attacking players, top attacking players out the team, and nobody really to replace. So as much as you think, right, well, where will anybody get in? I mean, who can replace Mo Salah? Who can replace Cody Gakpo at the moment? He's fantastic the last season. And then, of course, Ekitike, that's just come in and done particularly well and cost an absolute fortune.
They've always had 5, haven't they?
And that's what I'm saying. So it's all right saying, where will anybody fit? But this day and age, so many games, injuries, etc., they're going to need good players.
Yeah, but equipping yourself for FA Cup, Carabao Cup, obviously Champions League, and our league is so difficult. The level of the games and the physical aspect of the Premier League, you need to be able to change.
OK, so this situation is going on. This is the latest from Eddie Howe after the game at Aston Villa. The door is well and truly open, he said, but he needs to decide what he wants to do. We'd like a resolution. We need that clarity. I'm not in control of it. Only one person is. I've made my stance pretty clear.
I can totally understand the comments of Eddie Howe.
Yeah, because you've been a manager and an assistant manager.
And the guy's a top player. There's no doubt about that. And
what about the way he's conducted himself?
It's not been great, but it's pretty clear that even the way he's conducted himself, that he still would welcome him back in the changing room. Whether his teammates would bring him, that's the big question.
Yeah.
Because he's chosen not to turn up or not. The stories and rumour and speculation, we hear that he doesn't want to train, doesn't want to play. If that's the case, it's very hard to win back your teammates. That would be the big fear for me as a player trying to go back into.
What have you made of Alexander Isak's behaviour?
Well, for starters, Steve, the first paragraph there, the door is well and truly open, but Isak needs to decide what he wants to do. Well, he has decided.
Which is what?
We all know that he wants to leave. Yeah. And that's why he's having this stance.
Has he gone about it in the right way?
No. And I will not condone a player refusing to. But what I don't agree with is all these ex-players coming out, you know, sticking up for the club, sticking up for this, that and the other, all having a go at Isak. They all would have done exactly the same, all of them. He's not a bad person. He's not a bad lad. He didn't come into this situation and said, right, I'm never going to train again, you know, unless... He would have said to Eddie Howe, if reports are right, he would have said to Eddie Howe towards the end of last season, the opportunity arises, I'd like to go to a team like Liverpool. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I'm pretty sure he would have gone about it the right way to start with. But the more and more you're prevented from doing something that you think would be so good for you in your career, the more and more desperation hits, the more and more your agent says, right, mate, the only way you're contracted, the only way, if you're so desperate to play for a club like Liverpool, and why wouldn't he be, then the only way is you're going to have to make some noises. You're going to have to do whatever. Go and see the manager. If he won't let you, you're going to have to refuse to play or whatever. Now, I'm not condoning that. But any player out there that starts saying, oh, you know, this is a disgrace and whatever, and I've listened to loads of them, and I feel like throwing something at the television because I don't condone anybody refusing to play. But what I also don't condone is football clubs themselves, when it's the other way round. When somebody signs somebody on a 3-year contract, they're not doing so well. If Isak was playing rubbish, they might be trying to get rid of him. They'll be threatening him to, right, you're playing the reserves. If you don't go, we want to sell you. If you don't go, I'm going to make your life a misery. Yeah. Nobody remembers all these, Steve. This happens 9 out of 10 transfers.
This situation is not going to go away. I think this is going to be part of the wheeling and dealing between clubs.
This is a big negotiation. At the highest level, so it's getting in the papers.
Would you think
but most of the time, Steve, it's the clubs on the players. If you were a Newcastle teammate
of his strike partner, that he's just helped you win their first major trophy in over 60 years?
Of course, you'd be disappointed, but the beauty of football...
You wouldn't think like that, though, would you?
I'd be disappointed if he was a great player. I'd want to keep him because we got a chance of winning more. Of course you would. But this isn't new. This has happened since football was invented, good players going to the best teams. And if it wasn't, we'd have a boring competition.
But do you understand Newcastle's stance? They're not going to roll over.
Exactly.
Say again, Gary, sorry?
That move might never have...
This is his one chance.
You don't know.
He's worked all his life for this type of chance.
You know, what about the club who bought him, nurtured him,
absolutely,
given him the contract? Eddie Howe, who's coached him and made him better.
Yeah. Not done bad for them, though, has he? Won them the first trophy, made them double their money.
You understand them not going to roll over and just say, yeah, have it.
I'm playing devil's advocate because I'm sick and tired of players coming on
it should get to a number then, because it does need a resolution. I think for all parties concerned, the best outcome is for it to end, because it's this fella's having to face questions every single day. Yeah. So, he's having to get into a changing room as well.
But equally, he's not going to let him through the door and leave himself without any centre forwards. They're in the Champions League as well.
No, absolutely.
And that's why.
So get the right fee, and then they've got recruitment guys as well who have given Eddie probably 3 or 4 names. So it's, the quicker it all sorts itself out, the better. I think it's best for everybody.
Of course it is. Of course it is. It would be perfect, but it's not ideal in any way, shape or form. But all I'm saying, and I'm not condoning it, is there's 2 sides to every story, Steve. And most of the time, it's the football club that actually threaten the player. I've seen it myself. I've been there. I've had lots of friends. On the 1 or 2 occasions a year that we hear of, a player's got a bit of power here because he's done really, really well, and now he's in demand. When it's the other side of the story, the whole world goes into meltdown. Everybody comes in and hammers the player and backs the club and things like that. And I've seen it, and I can't stand it because it's a two-way thing, this is. And as I say, not that I'm condoning his behaviour, but I'm just putting it out there that this happens a lot the other way round as well. So it's not all bad on football players.
Saying on Friday, Righty, the amount of time you players spend together, and when you win things like they have done, the bond you have, that's been quite a burden for those Liverpool players going into the Open.
Yeah, it has, because even when obviously being retired for as long as you are, and you hear players even not long ago, Kevin Campbell, it does get you, because you spend so much time with these people, to the point where it's like family. Totally understand Mo Salah getting emotional there, because he'd have had intimate times with him, and now all of a sudden, bam, he's just gone. So you can see where it can affect you. And I think that Liverpool fans, the fans who have been observing them have been fantastic. Yeah. And I think that shows a lot of respect for what they thought of Diogo Jota. So, it's a sad situation, especially, again, with the family and the young family. And new wife. So, you know, it's just nice the amount of respect and love he's getting. Yeah.
Absolutely. And in terms of the game, it was a very open game again, wasn't it, at Anfield? Fair play to Bournemouth for asking them questions to come back at 2-2.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they've always been a good side, and it looks like they've lost some key players, but they've replaced them again, you know, and they were a part of what was an exciting game, an entertaining game. I mean, let's be fair, at Anfield, you get some wonderful football matches at the moment. The way they play, they go gung-ho and they go at you, and then it gives you a little bit of space. Just looking at Liverpool, I thought they were going forward. They looked expressive. They looked as good as ever, really, going forward, and that's their strength. You look at them and you think, well, you can get them defensively. I do think they need a defender. I know they've got one coming in.
If they get Gravenberch back, and he'll give them more protection. Like that second goal, we saw Semenyo score especially. I think when he comes back, Gaffer, it might solve that problem. But I'd still think they need a defender as well.
I think they need a defender, personally, to go again and win it, and possibly go for a big double, in the sense, go for the Champions League as well. They need to bolster that up. They brought a young defender in, but I think they need something. I mean, they're after the lad at Palace, Gay, aren't they? If they get him, then I think they're going to be very, very difficult to beat. But I think going forward, it's the same old Liverpool again. You know, they get it at you and they go for the throat, particularly at Anfield. But
you just feel they're going to score goals. You know?
Yeah.
Even though we did see them, Bournemouth score those two, you just see that they've all of a sudden, bam, they can have 4 goals in them, you know, and that's going to be difficult to stop.
They've got that in them to find a way, haven't they?
Yeah.
Find a way, even though it's a little bit of, like you say, a bit gung-ho sometimes, but they always look like they could. When you're watching them, you always think, oh, they'll find a goal, And they end up with 2 late ones and bang, bang, and it's kind of job done again.
Yeah, Ekitike got his goal.
Yeah.
Do they need Alexander Isak? I mean,
I think any club would take him.
I think that when you look at him, you look at the chances that's created, for him, because it seems like they are pursuing him, I don't know if it's going to happen or not, they're going to pay that much money, but all Ekitike can do is just continue to score. Because the more he does that, the more it will make them think, we need to get him into... That's what will happen, even though a team like Liverpool do need to have multiple great players. You know, they do need to have that, but look, all the time that Ekitike is scoring and doing well, it kind of makes them relax on it a little bit.
And you know yourself, when you've won the league, to go again and retain it, you're there to be shot at, and they have got new players who haven't played in the Premier League before. That's a challenge, isn't it?
Yeah, I think in some ways it's even more difficult to go again. I think you kind of, what you might imagine is to be your Everest, you know, and you get to the very top. The only way is down, really. So it's, you know, you've got people coming up behind you who want that spot, and you've got to fight for it, and you've got to re-energise, re-motivate, kind of calibrate, if you like, and find a way. And there's a change personnel a little bit, and it changes the dynamics. It does. When you've won it, it changes the dynamics a little bit, and you've got to regroup and go again. And I think that's a massive start in terms of Ekitike scoring a couple and right from the start. That's all you can hope for as a centre forward to get off the mark, and they look strong. You know, you have to say that.
Because we saw Slot last season win the league virtually, apart from Chiesa, who ironically scored, with Jurgen Klopp's players. Yeah. But that was very different on Friday. 4 debutants, including a British transfer record in Florian Wirtz.
Yes. I think, you know, he's somebody again. I think he'll realise again how difficult it is in the Premier League, the intensity of what's needed. But I think that you look at Slot now, and there's a lot more intensity. He seems a lot more agitated on it. He seems a lot more... He wasn't like that last season. I don't know if it's because it weren't his players, apart from obviously Chiesa he brought in. But he just seemed a lot more calm. But this time, after the first game, you could see the intensity. So I'm looking forward to see Liverpool this season. And again, I'm thinking when Gravenberch come back, I think they're going to go again in respects of their defensive problems that I thought that they had against Bournemouth.
OK.
Welcome back to Generation XG, myself, Leroy and Glenn. Let's talk about the champions. Liverpool off to a winning start, weren't they? They kicked off the Premier League season, actually probably the game of the weekend as well. A thrilling game. It was new-look Liverpool against new-look Bournemouth. Let's have a look at the two teams and the formations that the manager selected. For Liverpool, 2 new fullbacks, Kirkes and Frimpong into the building. Florian Wirtz as in the number 10 position, Ekitike up top as well. So let's start with Liverpool. You, Glenn, what did you make of the new signings? What did you make of their performance?
Positives and negatives.
Yeah.
I think that they took the game by storm. Obviously, Ekitike being the headline. I like the relationship that he seems to be building with Wirtz already. I'm a big fan of the fullbacks, but they're very forward-thinking fullbacks, which
To say the least.
with Leeds, Van Dijk and Konate with a bit of an issue that we'll get into.
And particularly without Gravenberch in the team as well. That's a miss. What about Bournemouth, Leroy?
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about the talent that they've sold this season, Kirk's obviously lining up against them for Liverpool. You lost to Housen to Real Madrid, Zabani to PSG. You lost your goalkeeper as well. He went to Arsenal. It's frightening, really, isn't it? That they've had a massive turnaround. Semenyo was terrific on the right-hand side for them, scored a couple of goals, but problems at the back for them, sure.
Absolutely problems at the back, but the most important person they kept was their manager, Iriola, who I think is a terrific coach. And I think that was the key. You've got someone to rebuild. Someone talked before the game saying, look, don't expect too much from us, but it's going to take time. But he's going to be there and he's going to rebuild them. And that's what makes them a really exciting prospect going forward, because they've still got the coach.
I saw you nodding there.
Yeah, do you know what? Because I couldn't agree more with Leroy.
Yeah.
I think Iriola is a superb manager, and keeping him in the building is the most important thing. I think we covered it on a show last year. They went to Newcastle and they won, didn't they?
Yeah.
With, I think it was 7 Premier League appearances on the bench.
Yeah.
So he showed that he can find a way. He's had setbacks at Bournemouth.
Not moaned
before.
about it either, has he?
Not moaned about it, and he always finds a way. And I suppose he's always just creating something new at Bournemouth, isn't he? And again, he's got to do it. And there was moments on Friday night, well, it looked like he was going to be successful.
Absolutely. I have to say this about Liverpool, though.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about Liverpool.
Right.
And I'll tell you why, because as a manager or as a coach, I'd rather have players running forward and trying to hold them back and having players who don't want to run forward.
As long as they run back.
As long as they... It's easier to coach. It's easier...
Run that way and don't run that way is the problem.
It's easier to coach, you know, it's to say, look, I just want to hold on, isn't it? It's like you've got players who are bombing forward, you've got the creative players. It's easier to coach, and I think that's what... It's gone all in with the attacking players, and obviously Gravenberch was missing, but I think it's a lot easier for Arne Slot to say, OK, Kirkes and Frimpong, now I want you to just hold your position, I want you to defend properly.
So do you think it's going to be a case of Konate and Van Dijk putting the reins on those full-backs, or do you think it's going to be a situation where the 2 defending midfielders have to drop in?
It's going to be the 2 defending midfielders, because I remember when Jordan Henderson started and Trent was playing, and Jordan did a great job.
There.
Just filled
he
in.
did brilliantly.
Just filled in, just let Trent go. And so he won't want to stop Frimpong going, he won't want to stop Kirkes' natural attacking abilities. So it's about the midfielders going in there and just keeping Liverpool safe.
Topic of discussion so far in this show has been number 9s. We've seen Cunha as a false 9. We've seen Gyökeres joining Arsenal. We've seen Šeško for Man United. Ekitike for Liverpool. Made a good start to life at Anfield, hasn't he?
I like him.
Yeah.
I really do like him. He's full of energy. He's a terrific athlete, but his movement is great. First movement is then he sets it off and look out, no hesitation, back for the second ball, and then he's got great feet as well to make sure that he keeps the ball, and then he plays the ball inside the fullback, not to the wide player's feet, because he's trying to make things happen with.
Yeah, I mean, I think life to Liverpool has started very nicely for him. Whether he can keep this up remains to be seen, but he's he's what I would call a modern day forward. He's comfortable coming to the ball, he's comfortable going beyond. But what I like here, just watching him, is when he's approaching the box, he isn't always sprinting. He's watching the build-up, and he meanders to the edge of the box and then goes.
So they made an offer for Isak. That was rejected, out of hand. I think they probably still want him. Do they need him on the evidence of what you've seen so far from Ekitike? Because they actually look similar players to me.
I think they do. You know, Liverpool, they're going to be in Champions League, they're going to have lots of football, they're going to want to rotate. And I think Ekitike has the ability to play either side, wide,
I was
or
about
wide
to
on the
say,
left, wide on the right.
Isak through the middle, you can play Ekitike wide, can't you?
All of a sudden, you get a centre forward in, and it means that you've got covering all the positions there.
Yeah, I think with Ekitike, I think there's a lot of growth left in him. I think he's going to get better and better, and that's going to take time. Whereas Isak, you sign in the finished product, he's going to produce goals. My worry for Ekitike is his XG was 21 last season.
Yeah.
He only scored 15.
Right.
He needs to be a little bit more clinical.
Okay.
And at the moment, everything seems to be going right for him.
Saw him combine well with Wirtz as well throughout the game. I thought that was really interesting. Wirtz in that number 10 position, he linked up well with him.
I think he's happy to create for others as well. I think he's happy with assists. It's not just about a goal scorer. That's why I think he's going to be excellent
This
for
is his
Liverpool.
numbers in the first 2 games. So we're talking about the Community Shield and then the Bournemouth game as well. He scored in both of them. 3 and 4 shots in the matches, 25, 33 touches, touched in the opposition box. He's had 4 in both of the games. Played a similar amount of minutes in both of those games as well. So his numbers pretty good so far.
Very good. A really good start, as Glenn said, but
the start's not enough at Liverpool. You've got to keep it going. And I do think that he will need a little break. At some point, and because the pressure, it's been a difficult time at Liverpool, obviously.
Yes.
The emotional energy that's obviously from what's happened. So he's started well.
Yeah.
I definitely think he needs help.
OK, what about defensively then? From a Liverpool perspective, is it a case this season of with Liverpool we're going to say they're going to score more than the opposition, and that's it, simple as that. This is their defensive numbers last year compared to this season. So per game, fast breaks per game.
Yeah, big holes in the centre of that pitch, and that's because Graham Birch didn't start. McAllister hadn't had many minutes as well. I just felt they were just a little bit lackadaisical. And even Van Dijk in his defending, I thought he was just a little bit off the pace. And the other thing is they were playing Bournemouth as well.
Yeah.
They're going to hurt them. They were really positive against them. So, yeah, look, they conceded two goals in transition. And Konate wasn't his best game. But honestly, I wouldn't be too concerned because I only think this Liverpool side could get better.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with you to a certain extent that I think it is going to be we'll score more than you, which
it
is
feels that way, doesn't
which
it?
is brilliant for us.
Feels like we've evolved.
We want to see as many goals as possible, but it does create moments like this where you have to defend a little bit better. But this is also these relationships of new full-backs and kind of building that relationship, knowing when to go. Like you said, McAllister, not many minutes. Sabozlai, I don't think it comes naturally to him to drop in. It comes more naturally to Gravenberch to have that defensive mindset. But yeah, I mean, I think this is a very special Liverpool team we're seeing.
It certainly is. I mean, looking at this clip here, this Robertson and Gomez are now in the full-back area, and they're in good possession here, but they've just left a big space in the centre of the pitch. Curtis Jones has actually just run past Antoine Semenyo to create that space, and now Liverpool are 4 against 2 at the back. And it's just about building relationships. Szoboszlai's playing in a slightly different position as well, and he made plenty of substitutions.
Will that suit him, Szoboszlai, do you think?
I think he can do that as well. Yeah, I think he can do that, but he'll be one of the two in behind Wirtz.
It's just a slight change, isn't it, in mindset for him, I think. I think he's able to do it. Probably didn't do it much last year.
Yeah.
Got to do it more this year.
So these are the numbers, the defensive numbers, last season comparative to this season, or certainly the game against Bournemouth. Breaks per game, 5 breaks, fast breaks from Bournemouth. Shots faced from the fast breaks, 3.
Sorry,
last season, they only conceded 2 goals from fast breaks all season.
Yeah.
They've already conceded 2 in one game.
I know, and it seems like a massive concern, but Liverpool were quite pragmatic during games. They come out of the blocks really quickly, they get ahead, and in the second half they just sit back and rest defence and play on the counter-attack. I think Arne Slot wants to introduce his own style, and he wants to be really positive off the back of winning the Premier League title. And you know what? I absolutely applaud that.
I think he'll be pushed much closer this year than what it was last year. Yeah, I do. I think we're in for an amazing Premier League at the top.
Are they still favourites, do you think?
For me, they are still favourites. I think their signings have been exceptional. If you add Isak to that, if you add Mark Gueye to that, which are both possibilities at the moment, this could be a very, very special Liverpool side. And you might not be talking about Premier League, you might be talking about European.
I think it's got potential to be one of the best ever Premier Leagues because there's so many teams that could win it. I mean, I think we all feel that Liverpool are perhaps slight favourites, but so many teams that could win it.
I think Glenn just said it then, and I totally agree with you. I think this Liverpool side could be a very, very special Liverpool side with all those players. If they get it right, they could be be unstoppable, Glenn.
And we haven't even mentioned Manchester City.
No.
Who look reinvented.
Yeah.
We've got a very special guest in the studio. It's the Premier League trophy.
I thought he was going to say it was me. I'm gutted.
And former striker Clinton Morrison is with us for the next 2 hours. So thanks for being here.
No worries.
Big guest for the first show. Right,
Obviously.
Now, I'm going to put the same question to you that we ended on with Jamie there. Should Liverpool be fearing Manchester City?
I don't think they should be fearing Man City. Everyone should be fearing Liverpool, but they'll know Man City could be back. They had a bad season last season, and they're wounded animals at the moment. And you can see the start they had at Wolves and some of the signings they've made, in particular Reinders, who I think is fantastic. Knew about Reinders 2 years ago. He was in Serie A with AC Milan, and he was unbelievable there. And that didn't surprise me, the performance I saw against Wolves. He's a box-to-box midfielder. He can create stuff. Too early to be comparing him to Kevin De Bruyne, like I've heard. He's not Kevin De Bruyne. He's his own player, Reinders. Kevin De Bruyne was special, but Reinders, very good player. But no, I feel they have a really good chance, but I don't think Liverpool will worry about Man City.
We often say, don't we, can they step up in the Premier League when players come in from different leagues? Well, with Reinders, doesn't look like it's going to be a problem.
No, but you know what the good thing about him? He had time to settle. They went to the Club World Cup, so he saw how he could build into how Pep wants to start. Because it's different on the training pitch. It's totally different, Bella. But when you go into match situation, but you can see in these clips, he takes the ball ever so well, always on the half turn, and always wants to look forward and get into the box. And he's passing, and his goal that he scores, he's finishing really good. I think he's going to be fantastic, and he could be a snip for the amount of money that they paid for him.
Yeah, and obviously, as he was named player of the match, all the focus was really on him. But the other debutant, Cherki, did really well as well.
Yeah, Cherki, who came on and made a big impact, and he's still young and he's got ability as well. You see when you sign these players and you don't spend a lot of money, because he done ever so well in France as well. He's a different kind of player. He wants to go into little pockets. Maybe not so good tracking back, but going forward he wants to create stuff. So I think Man City done their business early, done really good business.
And what about Liverpool? What do you make of this new look team?
No, yeah, it was... Listen, Liverpool. Bournemouth are a good team. Bournemouth caused them a lot of problems. They were a bit open, the likes of Frimpong and Kirkes, but that's how Liverpool defend. And on another night, they would have got punished. But what they have is great players that can go forward. They got players that can cause a lot of problems. Ekitike, I think, is going to be amazing signing. I saw a lot of Ekitike, but he's hit the ground running there. His movement's fantastic, and he even his assist, the goal was good, but I like the assist for Gakpo, because he just lent the pass ever so well. But I think he's going to be a really good player. You can see here, his little touch here. It's an easy pass, but look, some people overhit it, but he just guides it into Gakpo's pass. It's a really good finish from Gakpo, but very exciting. Wirtz, everyone knows about his quality. I think they've signed ever so well. And if they do manage to get Isak, it'll be the icing on the cake. But you know the one thing they've done as well, Liverpool? They've not let a lot of players go and still got this man, Chiesa, who they paid. It was a snip that they paid for last season. And he looks fit, he looks leaner, he looks like he's in good shape. And I think he'll be very good for when Liverpool are struggling to come off the bench, because he's a top player. And then you've got the main man himself. He said, I'm going to have a piece of this. You know, I'm not missing out. And it's a great finish from Mo Salah.
Any concern that there is quite a lot of change?
No, I don't think it is. I think Arne Slot inherited last season a lot of Jurgen Klopp players and improved them, the likes of Gravenberch. And now he's putting a spin on it himself. Liverpool haven't spent a lot of money. And people will say, I'm talking about in the previous season window. But what you have to realise, there's a lot of players that have gone out. So they've recouped a lot of money as well. So I think the business they've done ever so well, they'll all be good. I like Frimpong, I like Kirkes, even though Frimpong wants to get forward a lot. I like Wirtz and Ekitike. I think he's going to be special. He could challenge Haaland for the Golden Boot.
Yeah, Frimpong's got a great Scouse accent as well, hasn't he?
Very much.
You were at Old Trafford yesterday. Working, were you?
Yeah, as
always
you do.
working.
Yeah,
always
yeah,
working. What about Arsenal then? Can they win it this season?
No, they can win it. Arsenal could definitely win it. That was a sign of champions that didn't play well but still managed to get the 3 points. I'm not saying they're going to win it, because I make Liverpool favourites and Man City are up there. But I do think Arsenal will be in the reckoning. It's a mistake from the goalkeeper, a poor mistake. But Arsenal didn't play good. They weren't good on the ball. But do they care? They've got a lot of people, and their record at Old Trafford hasn't been good. A lot of people go to Old Trafford and they will struggle this season, because Man United look good going forward, but I think Arsenal still have a chance. But they have a very good chance of winning the Premier League. It's only one game. No team hits the ground running, but they've got the 3 points.
We have been talking about Viktor Gyökeres for a very long time, haven't we, Clinton?
Yeah, we have.
What did you make of him?
Yeah, it was a hard game for Viktor Gyökeres. I don't think you can judge someone after the 65 minutes that he played. Still a lot to come from him. He's a very good striker. He's got good movement. This was his chance where I was live and I thought just cut inside, he wanted a half a yard and the ball got stuck under his feet. Then he ends up giving a free kick away. It's just a frustration afternoon. The Man United fans are on him, but it won't bother him. As I said, you can't judge him after only 65 minutes of football. There's still a lot to come from Viktor Gyökeres. And yeah, there'll be a few doubters doubting him, but I think he'll be a success at Arsenal.
Well, exciting to see lots of debutants, wasn't it, on the opening weekend. Right, we've got plenty more coming up.